What's going on, beautiful people? How y'all feeling? Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Coach La La La. Hope y'all can hear me. Every week I feel like I'm learning new things about this technology in here. So I hope everybody can hear me and it's going through. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Good. Well, I do have a guest in the studio with me today, but you're only going to be able to hear her voice. Hi, Cynthia. I see you. Turn your volume down. You're not on camera yet or microphone yet, but I can hear your volume. Got to turn it down. You don't hear that echo? Oh, well, all right. Maybe it's me. All right. So, it's been a week, everybody. It has been a week. Start with the positives first. Shout out to Franchise Entertainment. Shout out to D Nice. He opened up his new space, Society on High. Great grand opening. Teddy Riley was in the building. I got a chance to get my book signed. And that was a beautiful experience. It's the 45 plus crowd. And it was beautiful to see everybody come out. People were looking good, having a good time. And also had an opportunity to support Mr. Ray Royale. Mr. Ray Royale experience. He does a sing-along at the City Winery. It was Chris Brown versus Usher. And I was team Usher, then I was team Breezy, and then I was team both. But we did a whole like Soul Train line. I don't even know if that's what you want to call it, around the building. It was a good time. And given that tonight's show I'm coming from a sad place, and I've been really, really sad. I haven't been this sad in a long time, folks. So I needed that. I needed to be in a space to sort of have a distraction. And that's what tonight's show is all about, is really honoring the life, legacy, the love of one of our very, very own. Hey, Sean Jordan. So tonight is not the typical Conversations with Coach La. We're taking a slight pivot, but it's still going to be a powerful conversation. So that being said, I do want to play something for everyone and sort of set the tone for what tonight's conversation will be about.
FM, the Urban Heat acknowledges the passing of Marrk the Voice Harris, a true icon and the heart of 98.1 The Urban Heat. As a founding member of our station, Marrk helped shape the sound of our radio community with his incredible talent and passion. His creation of the Bomb Squad radio show brought joy and connection to so many, while his sultry voice on Sunday night's Souls Play Slow Jam show became a cherished ritual for countless listeners. Marrk had an extraordinary gift for making each moment feel special, turning our airwaves into a source of comfort and inspiration. While we grieve the loss of this remarkable man, we also celebrate the legacy he leaves behind. Marrk's warmth, demeanor, and love for music will forever resonate in our hearts. Let us honor him by sharing our favorite memories and keeping his spirit alive through the music we love. Rest in peace, Marrk. Your voice will always be a part of us. Bomb Squad. Hashtag Heat 98.1 FM. Hashtag Boston. Hashtag Marrk Harris.
So we are honoring tonight Marrk Harris. I'm going to bring on Steve Bruce, Cynthia Brewington, to have this conversation with me. She's not going to be on camera with me. For some reason, I'm having a technical difficulty and I can't seem to get the camera to work. And I don't know, but it's all good because her voice is going to make sure that it's heard. So we're going to do that. We're going to bring her on and we're going to have a conversation. What's up, C. Brew?
Good evening, Coach La La La.
What's up, girl? Thank you for having this conversation with me and bringing your voice, although tonight was going to be a call-in show anyway. So although I wanted the people to see you because you look gorgeous, I want to talk about Marrk. I want to talk about Marrk Harris, our friend, our brother. Those that want to call in, you can also call in 617-238-7111. But to you, who is Marrk? Usually I ask my guests that, but given that, we got to talk about his legacy. How would you describe Marrk?
Surprisingly, I met Marrk many years ago. I think I'm 27 and I tell people I'm 27, but I met Marrk more than 27 years ago through the dance school world. Even though I was young, we were always brought into spaces to entertain adults. And so through my dancing, I came in the presence of Marrk also back with his WILD days. One of my best friends' brother, Elroy in the AM, used to be on WILD, so I was in that space back then. My cousin was a DJ on WRBB, Wallace T. So back then, even though I was younger, I remember being in his presence, although I didn't really get to interact with him until my adult years. And just knowing him in his presence just spoke volumes. Even without his voice that captured many on the airwaves, if you knew Marrk, just being in his presence was power enough,
Affectionately known as the voice, right?
Yes.
He had a essence, a spirit, his poise. I was driving in today and it just felt so heavy. Xavier earlier today on the 365 Dad show also said it feels heavy. I would come in every Sunday and Marrk would be sitting here and he'd go, "Hey coach." I'm like, "Hey Marrk," and he'd be sitting here playing the Soul's Place. And I'm gonna miss that. It's just like, I know he's not going to be sitting in the seat, but I feel like he's sitting in the seat. So it was really, really difficult because he has left such a mark. Michelle Brathwaite said it best, I would say, is that's what legacy is.
Yes.
Gooseby did a show and we had an opportunity to learn about his early days.
That show was amazing.
It was, and it was so much integrity. Shout out to Rusty, aka Toe Jammer. And Rusty was just saying how he was molded, and Marrk was one of the people who molded him. And I think about me in radio, the many conversations of Marrk, one, encouraging me to not listen to everybody else's voice and to listen to my voice, and that I had something, my show needed to be longer, and teaching you about radio. He was very much, your liners and consistency and speaking to your audience as if they're in the room with you.
Mm-hmm.
He was a true teacher. Yes, he's a father and community member, but he was just a true teacher and just an all around really good guy.
Yes.
And even to his last days, he still was just so optimistic.
Absolutely.
And I hope to carry that forth, even coming and doing a show, although heavy. Marrk came here Sunday after Sunday. Sometimes he didn't feel good. He still did his show. So yeah, Marrk, missing you, man. His Hey Baby.
I know. And did you hear the morning cafe the other day when people were saying, "Oh, I thought he just called me baby."
Yeah. Yeah.
He called everybody baby.
He said that to everybody. And I learned that it wasn't a cat call. And he wasn't
not at all
trying to, hit on you.
Not at all.
But he had a way of just lifting you up and like an uncle, a brother, giving you a compliment. And it was just that, a compliment.
Exactly.
Just really one of those guys that made you safe. And he put his all into everything he did.
Mm-hmm.
The Bomb Squad cookout was one of his babies. And every year without fail, got the t-shirts, got the sponsors, and just watching how he did that. And he had a full-time job. A lot of people don't realize.
Right. Boston Housing Authority.
Had a full-time job, and did the radio and other speaking engagements, voiceovers, back and forth between New York and other places. Like, he put in a lot of work. I didn't know he had even worked with Wendy Williams. Like, his early years, he was working with Wendy Williams. And, it's interesting how you meet people at certain phases of their life and you really don't know everything.
Right.
And so listening to people talk about all that he's done, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, we really were amongst the legend. Like I felt like that anyway, but like hearing everybody else's stories was like,
Right.
wow.
Especially stories from way back.
Way back.
Way back, you know.
Making sure people got paid. You know, Mark was kind of gangster with it. He was kind of gangster with it.
Yeah.
Mark was kind of gangster with it.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be missed in the physical sense, but his presence will continue to walk through these doors and sit in the seat, and you know, we will continually hear his voice.
Yes, because it's forever stamped.
Exactly.
Every episode of Conversations with Coach La, the pre-recorded, starts off with his voice. Yeah. So, you know, we're talking tonight, Cynthia, about navigating grief. And some of that is connected to legacy. A lot of times what we don't realize is we all gotta go at some point, right? We know when we were born, and then we got that dash, and that's our life. And we don't know when the question mark's coming, but it's coming.
It's coming.
Right. And it's like, how do you live your life where you can leave impact? And they say it's not so much about what you do, but how many people's lives you impact and change. And I think what was so beautiful about hearing about Mark is he's touched a lot of people, not just through radio, but community, through teaching. Just he's touched so many people. And we got to share them. I think that was the other thing. Like we were trying to control who would know, and you know, putting out who's gonna put out, who's gonna don't put it out there first. But it's like he just too many people was connected to him, and you lose some of that because of all of the people he's touched. We all got something that we want to share or give or say. So when someone of this magnitude is lost, it's a hit to the community, and it's a public loss. So it's a little bit different than those private, you know, loved ones. But when you have a mogul, you have a radio god of this magnitude pass away, it's beyond something you can control. You know, people are posting constantly. So
yes, and I know initially the family didn't want anything posted, and you know, we were asked to make sure that we didn't post, and it was kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
Do you know how many other people have posted?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like we it was gone.
It was.
It was totally gone, and now even still, like every day, people are posting.
Yes.
So the family, as they're grieving, they're having to take probably space. I know for me, if I'm not going to think about it today. If I open up Facebook, there's Mark, right? I turn on the radio, there's his
Mark.
voice. So this grieving process has felt intense. It's felt overwhelmingly sad.
Yes.
Because you can't really like get away from it. Every time I come into the building, I'm feeling his presence. I'm hearing his voice. And it's hard because it's an acknowledgement that he's not here in a physical sense, which is really heavy. I think some deaths you can kind of get away from it for a little bit, right? Unless you open up your photo album or something like that, you can kind of like try to
control it,
compartmentalize it for a second.
And control what you're seeing and what you're hearing.
And we can't do that right now.
No. And we won't be able to do it for a very long time.
No. So one of the questions I have for everybody and for us is, what's your first emotional response when you heard about a loss that changed you? I mean, this one changed me, but where do you first feel it at?
I myself, it takes me a while to feel it. And I don't know if it's because of the role and position I've played for more than half of my life of being a superhero to the world and everybody else, that I kind of push myself to the last place. And so while I'm concerned and worried about everybody else, I'm the last to have any feeling, if that makes sense.
Yes. Well, a lot of the listeners don't know what you do for a living, so they may not understand why you answered that way. I don't know if you want to share that, but I think having you on the show is profound, because we haven't had a chance to really talk about this, not to this magnitude. Do you want to share what you do?
I can share what I do. I am a police officer in the city of Boston. Although I like to pretend I'm 27 years old, I've been on the Boston Police Department for 29 years. And for the last 5 years, I've had the assignment of taking care of all of the police officers in Boston by being assigned to the peer support unit, where I actually am the coordinator for all the critical incidents that officers are faced with, whether it be on the job or off the job.
Okay.
So,
So
although
that's in itself is intense.
oh, very intense, very intense.
So you're providing emotional support,
Yes,
you know, on and off duty.
yes, yes, and it's an around the clock job. My last 15 years of policing before taking on this assignment, which I did not ask for, I was kind of hand chosen, but for 15 years I did community policing, and I loved serving the community, especially the youth, the teenagers, and the senior citizens. But in this position that I've had for the last 5 years, I feel more rewarding within my heart, within my soul, for giving back to my brothers and sisters in blue, because again, while we're out thinking we're saving the world, wearing these capes, where we think we're the heroes, nobody's wearing a cape or being a hero for us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very different and rewarding from within. It's funny because my daughter tells people now, oh, she's a therapist. She's a therapist for the police department. And I go, no, I'm not a therapist. And she goes, yes, sir, mommy, because all the police officers ask me, where's your mother? Can I call your mother? Do you have your mother's phone number? And I'm like, I'm not a therapist. I do have specialized training for what I do, but I am not a licensed therapist.
It's interesting, right? Because that's the only difference, right? Is that you're not licensed, but peer support is therapeutic. It's an intervention. It's providing a space,
yes,
for people to get support, right? And that's often what therapy is. To keep it really simple, it's support. It's actively listening. So I can see why somebody might say that, but I get it. We still have to be clear. I'm not licensed, right? But you are trained to provide support, to answer questions, to help people navigate tough things.
Yes.
Did you know, right, that grief is a universal experience? Yet over 60% of adults report feeling unprepared to cope with loss. And when I read that, I said, wow. So, and it made me think about Marrk, right? So again, we lost Talise Rivers too, which was our radio sister. And that was like so unexpected. Marrk, on the other hand, had an opportunity on the Inside the Ride show.
Yes.
To really talk to the listeners and explain to everybody what he was experiencing. People could call in and hear it directly from him, which is something you don't normally get a chance to experience or get. And yet, and still, I feel like we were not prepared.
Well, we're not prepared because, like you said, we know our birth date. We know there's a dash. We know we all have an end date, but we don't know when that end date is going to be. We knew with, or shall I say, I felt that I knew with Mark's diagnosis that it wasn't going to be a whole lot of time for us to be able to spend with him, and I remember, hearing Marv and receiving text saying, if you have the time, go see Mark.
Yep.
And
he was adamant.
Yes.
And he was like, listen, go see that man. And I told him, thank you. For encouraging it and making sure. He said, this is a time you need to really clear your schedule and drop what you're doing.
Right.
And it was one of those moments where you didn't even need to ask. Right.
Right.
It was a firm, and it was also I want to say a cry, but it was just like, sometimes you need to pause and you need to really listen. And I think about when my dad passed away and having that pivotal moment of supporting him was
Mhm.
saying I had something to do. And I remember I cleared my schedule and supported my father that whole week.
Mhm.
And he passed away the following week. And I always think back to that moment of me deciding not to say all the things I had to do and just to show up.
Right.
And for all of us, you know, that have experienced this, I know that that was a big one.
Mhm.
I didn't choose to go when he was in the induced coma. I went to go see him when he was still sitting up in the bed and
Mhm.
talking through, not really knowing what was next, but knowing that it was pretty bad.
Right.
So I got to hug up on him and just talk to him, hear him laugh, and just sit with him,
Mhm.
looking at nonsense on the hospital TV. The other thing that came up was, although grief is natural, nearly 40% of individuals will experience symptoms of depression during early bereavement. And I feel like as a collective,
Mhm.
I can see the stages of grief that we're all
yes.
going through
Oh, yes.
collectively. And grief is not linear. And that's actually a clinical reference that it is very much cyclical.
Mhm.
And it goes through waves.
Yes.
And I'm watching that. I'm watching us real time go through acceptance, sadness, anger,
Mhm.
what they call bargaining. You know, folks are like, I wish I went to go see him. Just
Right.
everybody is at different stages. Some people are at isolation, they just want space. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, in the police world, for critical incidents and officer deaths, officer suicides, and stuff like that, I have the ability to set up debriefings for said incidents. So I kind of been going back and forth in my mind saying, should I say to Marv, maybe we should try to get together and do a grief debriefing for the entire Urban Heat family, you know, just so that people can have that moment to sit and reflect, you know, in a space that is comfortable, in a space that will give each person the freedom to reflect on Mark.
Yeah. I think in a lot of what we're doing, because we have a staff meeting coming up with that, we're going to talk about that, is meaning making, right? And purpose. And we're all in some ways doing that, is trying to figure out, you know, how to process it. And through the memorial that we're going to plan in his honor, I think showing up and still doing our shows, and everybody's show has been dedicated to him all this week. So we're just trying to find ways to navigate it. I don't even want to say cope. That's why I named this Navigating Grief.
Yeah.
And grief isn't something you get over, it's something you learn to carry.
Correct.
And I think somebody said to me, they said they felt like they weren't getting an opportunity to catch their breath because it's one death after another. And we're at this phase now at life, at this stage that we're all in, and it seems like it's coming more frequently. Like it's only March.
Right.
And I've had 3 deaths in my close circle. 3.
Yeah. And it, you know, as we talk about death as in us losing Talise and Mark, I don't even think it's been 80 days between the two. You know, there's also another type of grief, you know. My mother is alive, but I grieve the loss of her with her dementia, you know, because she's my mom, but she's not my mom.
Yeah.
You know, so there's different types of grief, you know, that people deal with, and it's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
It is tough. You know, tonight we're not trying to fix it. You know, this is not about fixing grief, because sometimes I think we want it to go away. We want it to stop. And I think we have to change our relationship with grieving and death. And I think we as a community, we need to do better about talking about it, because some of us are getting hit hard and some of us have yet to experience it. We're sort of on the outside looking in, and we kind of get it. We kind of don't, you know, we hope we don't experience it, but it's coming for you, baby.
Right.
It's coming for you. I don't know when, but it's coming. And it's about understanding it, honoring it, and making space for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my father used to always say, baby, I'm not going to be here forever. And I used to hate when he said that. And he would say it all the time. He was like, bet on yourself. He would give me nuggets, bet on yourself, make sure, you're living with integrity, and, talk about dating. If you really want to find love, you're going to have to slow down and let them court you. I got all of these lessons that I just play back like a tape. And he would say, hold on to this stuff because I'm not going to be here forever.
Yes.
And I used to be like, stop saying that. Why you keep telling me that I don't want to hear that? And so now I find myself saying it to my son. And he says the same thing to me, Ma, why are you talking like that?
Right.
And to be honest, I'm thankful my father reminded me of that.
Yes.
Because when it happened, I remembered him saying to me, I'm not going to be here forever. Baby.
Yeah.
And I was sad, but there was this comfort that came too, that it's not anything I could have done.
Right.
Because a lot of times when people pass away, you go through this grieving process of shame and guilt and thinking you could have done something or changed the trajectory of it.
Right.
And you can stay in that place for so long thinking you could have done something different. And it's going to happen like it's going to happen.
Right.
It's going to happen how it's going to happen. And that's just hard. It's hard.
Yes.
We got a lot of people do some shout outs. Now, y'all know, even though I got these glasses on, they make the on this screen so tiny. I swear it makes me think I need another pair of bifocals because I'm looking at this. But shout out to Sean Jordan. I know Sean has experienced a lot of loss. He posted on Facebook that he has several funerals to go on to on Friday.
All at the same time.
And Mark's funeral services are going to happen this Friday as well. I think Thursday we're having the wake at Dolan's funeral home, and then the funeral is going to be at Greater Love on Friday the 27th, which I know most people that are on the live now follow the Urban Heat and or Mark's page. Opal, thank you for tuning in. Shout out to my sister Shamina for tuning in. David Holiday, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Yes, he said rest in peace to our big brother Mark. Courtney, how you doing, Courtney? J.O. City. Bina Walker is also on here. Arlene, thank you, Arlene, for tuning in. Sean Rivers, yes, honey, you were by his side,
Yes.
the whole time. And she's like, as a nurse, I see and have dealt with death, loss all the time. My entire career, I try to pull on those coping strips, but when it's very close, a personal loss is so very hard. I have to relate to that because as a therapist, I talk to a lot of people and do a lot of grief counseling. And one of the things I'm holding space for is my sadness right now. A lot of people saw me post that this is the saddest that I've felt in a very long time. And as I'm saying that, life is moving. I still have clients to show up for. I've had to pace myself, find things to bring a smile to my face. But don't get it twisted. Don't mistake the smile and the activities to mean that I'm okay. And I think that's the real big one, is that I'm not okay. I'm still grieving Talise. I'm still grieving my dad.
Yes.
And that was 7 years ago. And whenever a new person close to me passes away, it's almost like everybody's death
comes right back.
I'm grieving my cousin, Anthony Bendoff, that we just buried as well. And so it's just heavy. And they're all young. I think they're young.
Yes.
Mark was, 60, 62? My cousin was 47. Talise was 52. These weren't, I'm thinking 80, 90 is when I'm thinking we're supposed to go.
Right.
Not 47, 52, 60.
And
not from pancreatic cancer. My cousin was sick, but it wasn't pancreatic cancer, but it was still medical health related.
Yes. Ooh, I got chills. I got chills when you mentioned Anthony.
Yeah, and it takes me back to, what was your first emotional response when you hear about a loss? And I think for me, I feel it in my chest. I feel like I can't breathe. You know, I feel like I want to just faint. And then there's also this sense of just complete quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Everything seems to stop inside of me, although the world is still moving. And I think that's what a lot of people say. It's like, I just want the world to just give me a minute
Mm-hmm.
and give me a moment of silence. But the rest of the world has no idea about your loss. So it
Right.
just keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people tend to feel like they're stuck, because the world's moving, but I'm just here and everything stops. And I feel like that's how the radio station feels. Like, I feel like we're on autopilot.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Like, I feel like we're doing all the things, but we're disconnected from all the things.
Mm-hmm. People are disconnected. People's emotions are high. Some people are snapping. Some people are withdrawing. Some people are just, everybody's emotions are different, you know. But like you know, I'm a trained observer. So even though I don't speak a lot, I see a lot and I observe a lot, you know.
Yeah. And I think too, people can misunderstand some of the ways that I think people of color
Mm-hmm.
grieve. Like when we do repasses and folks want to like party, laugh, you know, and celebrate the life.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other cultures where they go into mourning where it's all black silence and it's just sad.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to have that, but then it's like, okay, we need to celebrate
Right.
their life, and they wouldn't want us to be sad, and we'll go into doing that. Some people don't understand that is soothing. It's healing to be around laughter, because once that's over, we all have to sit with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you get away with it, but in that one moment, in that one space, you get a little bit of a opportunity to just get loved up on and to try to just laugh it through it and dance through it. And some of us, you know, partake in libations, maybe a little bit too much libations, but I think it's just that moment. It's a moment. It's just a moment to kind of just sit with it.
Yeah.
So I think I said this already, but research shows that meaning making, and I go back to this, is one of the strongest predictors of a healthy grieving process. You can grieve in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that you can't be angry, but I think often when people are angry, they want to fight, they want to, you know, break stuff up. They're yelling at each other in the family system. And like, I saw this when my cousin Tony passed away. I mean, we went through it all. The sadness, the fighting, the yelling. It was like textbook.
Mm-hmm.
Folks was ready to take their shoes off. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody calm down. Right. And it was like they needed to just explode and then cry. And then everybody was hugging. It was completely bipolar. But when you understand what was happening, is that it's like energy.
Yes.
And people don't know what to do with it. So some healthy ways is find a rage room. Rage rooms are great. You can break stuff, throw stuff, and you won't get in trouble. Seabrew's not going to come and arrest you, right?
No,
you
actually,
take
Melly B and I was planning on doing a girls' trip to a smash room, if that's what you call it. I don't know, but
I think that would be a great field trip for the
let's do it. Yes.
You get to break stuff up, throw stuff, break up computers, TVs. Yep. I mean, you can just go ham. You can get baseball bats,
sledgehammer, whatever.
Actually, you know what? We should plan that.
Yes.
I think Marv would be down for it. Boxing. Take you a boxing class. Hit some pads and get it out. Like anger is, you gotta change your relationship with anger.
Mm-hmm.
Go and take you a walk in the Blue Hills and scream to the top of your lungs.
Walk, run.
You know, there's healthy ways to deal with the anger. It's don't try to fight it. Just find a healthy way to release it. Don't go out here and just beat nobody up, y'all. You know, don't do that, right? Although you may want to. What do you think about that? About healthy ways to process anger? Because
there are healthy ways, and all that you just mentioned are the same things that I encourage my coworkers to do. You know, even with grief or a critical incident, getting your body to move and do stuff, to release those endorphins does amazing for the mind and body. People don't realize that, upping your intake of water helps your body as well when you're in this state of rage or this state of uncomfort or state of sadness, moving the body.
Yes, movement.
It's just that simple.
Right. That is, and all of this stuff, I usually do a segment, but I didn't put it up there. But just for the sake of the show, let's just put it up here. I'ma still try to get it all in, y'all. I'm trying my best, and then I'm gonna come back to what I just put on the screen. But maybe I don't have it no more. Maybe I do. You think I have it? Oh, that's where it went. Oh, here it is. Oh, everything. I got a new computer, y'all. FYI.
Working out the kinks.
My computer died today, and I had to spend $1,200 on new computer. If y'all want to donate to my Cash App, I'm taking donations. But what does therapy mean to you, right? And what we're talking about is all the ways that you can utilize non-sitting down across from a therapist. All of these things are therapeutic interventions, right? Ways to manage your emotions and your grief. And you mentioned too, grieving someone who's still alive, but we don't often think about grief beyond just death. Heartbreak, divorce,
yes,
loss of a job. These are all things too that we grieve.
Yes.
Some people, selling their house and getting a new house. Like we grieve things all the time, but we don't necessarily put it in the same context. But it's something that you feel like you cannot get back.
Right.
That's gone. You grieve, and you feel some type of way. So the other thing about grief is that it hits harder when it's connected, when it's a connection that's connected to identity and routine. So when you think about why this Marrk Harris's death is hitting us hard, we connected to him and he's part of our routine.
Right.
Every Sunday I see him. Without fail, he's hanging out at the radio station. Listeners have gotten accustomed to hearing him on the Bomb Squad and the Cookout, and the community is accustomed to him showing up and hosting. He's a part of our community. He's part of the fabric. He is the voice and soul of the urban heat. It's never going to be able to get away from it. Same thing with Talisa. He's part of our routine.
Yeah.
Somebody you see daily, weekly, monthly. It's hard to move past those. Those hit much harder.
Right. Especially people you respect, people that you love and appreciate their presence around you. It, like you said, it's a complete disruption and interruption to the routine. Disruptive.
Shout out to you, Remy. Love you, sweetheart. Thank you for just tuning in and just being here and holding space with us tonight. Once again, you guys are tuned into Conversations with Coach La. We are talking about Marrk Harris, his legacy, his life, and just navigating grief. As a community, we are all impacted by the loss of Marrk. Us at the radio station, the listeners, just listening to Soul's Place, and his voice is not there, and it's just the music had to be really hard for people today, as you're tuning in. Thank God for the station ID. Thank God for the commercials. Because his voice is just like that voice is. Yeah. Infectiously, that was a perfect name for him, the voice, VCR wrote a wonderful piece for him.
Oh, I saw that the other day, and I love the numbers in it. I've always been a numbers girl. Math was my favorite subject in school, and so just going through it and seeing all the numbers placed in there, the numbers of significance to Marrk and to the urban heat, it floored me.
Yeah, definitely.
It was pretty nice.
So y'all know I'm a poet and I'm sensitive about my stuff, so I wrote something.
Okay.
It's still being workshopped, but I'm going to read it for y'all. First time anybody's hearing it is tonight on this show. and it's called The Voice. So I'm just let y'all have it. The voice echoes loud. Hey, baby, how are you? You need anything? I got you. The voice, deep, passionate, unforgettable. That's what he is. Was the legacy. That's legacy. The voice. You recognize, he recognized, calms your spirit, a safe place, safe place. The voice that guides you, encourages you, and never fails, or makes you wonder if you are seen, heard, or even valued. The voice, consistent, present, reliable. The voice of love, compassion, and community. The voice, Marrk Harris, our brother, our friend, our family, lives on. We hear it until the end. We hear him in our hearts, our minds, and our soul. Boston, we have an angel looking over us, taking over the airways of heaven. You feel that frequency? Tap in and listen closely. You've now entered Soul's Place. Marrk Harris, we love you.
Somebody call in. Somebody call in, please. Somebody call
I'm working
in.
through it, but I don't know how y'all felt about it, but that's how I feel about it. And I'm gonna hold that daily, you know, Soul's Place. So ironic that is show is called Soul's Place,
right?
And it has a new meaning now.
Yes. Oh,
right,
somebody's
hold on.
listening.
Hold
Thank you.
on, y'all. Hold on. Let me get
Thank
this
you.
right. All right, let's see if Coach can do this right. Carla, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I did it right tonight. Thank you, Marrk. There's an angel amongst us. He just made, I always do phone calls wrong. So, hello, who's calling?
Well, Coach La La La.
It's Remy. Hi, Remy.
Hi, Remy.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, my heart's beating like a million miles a minute right now. But I heard y'all say somebody calling, but I wanted to give you your props, Coach. That was beautiful. Your poem was so nice for him.
Thank you.
It was so nice. It's so like I felt it in my soul because when you said, "Hey, baby," you know that's what you always said to everybody. You might have thought you were special in the moment, but Marrk gave everybody that.
Yep.
Hey, baby.
Yep.
But I called in tonight because I see people with echoes of frustration, sadness, grief, just shock, and I feel all of it. But I think what's bothering me the most is that life just keeps pushing us forward. It's like, give me a minute. Like, I need a minute to process it. Like, I need a minute. And there's not really going to be a minute. We just have to let it kind of like wash through us and keep our eyes on the beautiful memories. He has so many pictures. Oh my goodness. And you see how much he was loved across the city, that gives me a certain type of peace because he did what he was supposed to do while he was here. And that's something that some people can only aspire to touch so many people the way that he did.
That's so true. You know, he's touched so many. And, you know, like I said, if I open up Facebook, it's flooded. You know, Stacy tagged me in this little post thing where you got to do the ** and picks people. And it said that I would go to a concert with Marrk. And it was just interesting because that was one of the last things that he did is he went to the New Edition concert.
Mm-hmm.
And Ralph, shout out to Ralph. And Ralph was like, he was going to make sure that Marrk got tickets to come to the concert. So a lot of people got to love up on him at the concert. And
he looked so handsome.
He looked so good with his bomber, right? With his old school bomber jacket on. Like, what's up? Okay.
Came out fly.
Yeah, I'm like, Marrk was outside. Okay.
They know how to step. Like, y'all not gonna see me.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
He said, I'm Marrk Harris.
That's right.
That's right. Ready for war. He was ready for war.
You know, And just a wonderful spirit, great integrity. And like there was an ongoing joke that, you know, Mark was never going to say anything bad. Even if you did bad, Mark wasn't going to tell you. He was always going to tell you what you did good and what you did right. And you need people like that around. So many people criticize and always got something to say, but that was not Mark. And if he did, it was like, we going to need to come together as a family, and everything got to be about the station. When you go outside, it got to be about the station. Y'all need to always be promoting and uplifting the station. We are the urban heat. And I think that's how we honor him, is that we lift this station to the level that he wanted us to, and we keep showing up for each other as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. And again, meaning making is what's really going to carry us through, is that we need to make 2026 be a phenomenal year to honor Talise, to honor Mark. And I hope God just gives us a break. No more.
Amen.
We don't need any more right now, Lord. We got enough. Give us, let us ride out for a little bit.
That's right. You got enough of our angels.
Yeah.
Slow down. Pump the brakes.
We don't need nothing else. We don't need nothing else.
Well, Coach, you are one of those women that has created a blueprint yourself on how to be consistent and to bet on yourself and to empower others and to support your community. So I know I can't stay on all night, but I'll still be on the live.
I appreciate you.
But I want to salute you for doing what you do so well, touching the city and moving around and showing people, what it takes to really be an entrepreneur, a therapist, and an all-around good person. So,
I appreciate you. Right back at you, my sister. You are a blueprint too. As we know, the Remy Report and all of that. Y'all better tune in every Wednesday night from 9 p.m. to 11. Y'all need to get that real R&B and lock it in. Like she says, stay with me, don't play with me.
That's right. She's a boss on her show. I love listening to Remy be that boss.
Listen, last before you go, Mark was saying all the time. He was like, Remy got that sauce, the blueprint. You are just good at what you do. And recently you have posted a video of you engineering and producing. Like, people don't know, just you a bad mamma jamma, like on a whole nother level of bad. So, right back at you, sis.
That part. It's what we do. We're going to keep doing it well.
Yes.
For ourselves and the memory of our beloved Mark Harris.
Yes. Good night, Remy.
Good night, Remy.
Good night. I'm going to still be on the live, though, tearing up.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much. Wow. I tell you, man. Mark, you did your big one. Yeah, they say, shout out to DJ Black. How you doing, DJ Black? Ernestine, Auntie Sally, thank you for tuning in. I ain't never had Auntie Sally on Conversations with Coach Shaw. I know who you are, Auntie Sally.
Auntie Sally, you better not miss the cafe in the morning, the cookout. You can't. Listen to me, the cookout. You better not be late for the morning cafe, Auntie Sally.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna have to tell if you're late, girl.
I know that's right. What's up, Tamara, Simon? Oh goodness, yes. Appreciate all y'all for tuning in and just helping me and C Brew talk about Mark. This is not easy. I am doing good because I wasn't sure if I was going to ball out and give y'all the big old ugly cry, but I'm probably going to do it with C Brew after.
I don't know, because you got my eyes watering with your poem that you wrote. I'm like, no, we're not supposed to be doing this. So thank goodness I'm not on camera.
Yes. And I appreciate you just doing this with me.
I appreciate you and what you do.
I do. I wasn't sure how I was going to get through this show as a solo show. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. But I'm so glad that there's just your presence, because we're holding each other up as we have this dialogue. So it's like I'm doing a solo show, but I'm really not, because I'm the only one on the camera. And Mark would encourage me all the time. You don't always need a guest. You can just do it. You got a lot to say. But I like dialogue, Mark. You can do it. Bet on yourself.
That's right. Bet on self.
Throw it back at me. Shout out to everybody that's on Instagram as well. I see you guys out there. I see my cousin Just Wade. Thank you for tuning in. My brother, these stretches on there too. Yeah, my brother too. I appreciate y'all. I'm on and popping tonight. Y'all are on this virtual couch, but this is what therapy is all about. You know, a lot of people are reluctant to sit with a therapist and sort of go through the motions of expressing your feelings, especially our Black men. And we got to think about how we can better hold space for our emotions, especially because most of us have dealt with some level of loss. And depending on what that person represented in your life, it's like there's a hole. So I ask everybody, if you've lost somebody recently, what did that person represent in your life? Not just who they were, but what they meant. And as we navigate grief, it's really tapping into their essence. Often I say I'm channeling my inner Kenny. My father's name was Kenneth Austin. People called him Kenny or Ken. And he had the ability to be so jovial. And he was 6'3", probably about, I don't know, close to 300 pounds in his later years. And he had a presence. He had a smile. He also was another one with a voice. It must be why I got a thing for men with nice voices, y'all. You got a voice. You got a nice voice. You probably could get coached. Probably could. No, probably definitely bag me if you got a nice voice. I know, sidebar. I use humor often, but I'm single. I'm taking applications. Yes, my father wanted me to have a mate. Don't let me leave this earth without a mate. Come on. Y'all need to help a sister out. But what did they represent, right? And I feel like Marrk represented entrepreneurship. He represented passion, dedication, ambition, love. You know, he led with love. Marrk led with love all the time, you know. So think about that as your anchor and try to channel that. When you think about it, if the person wasn't sad and they lived a joyous life and they lived, how do you take those strengths and those characteristics and embody them to actually honor their legacy? I know you're sad, but beyond the sadness, think about what would that person want? They would want you to win. I know my father would want me to bet on myself. I know he would want all of his hard work and 2 jobs. He would want his daughter to be out here killing it, right? He wouldn't want me to roll up in a ball and just be depressed and, you know, drinking myself to death because he's not here. He would want me to do better and do
bigger
more,
and better,
right? And so I channel that often. Yeah. What about you? When you think about what they represent?
Well, for me, my dad, just like you, he was my everything. When you talk about a daddy's girl, that was me. I could do no wrong in my daddy's eyes. You know, strength, always pushing forth education and always making sure that I never settled.
That's right.
You know, just standing tall and proud and carrying my family's name. You know, you're a Beckford. You know, nobody's gonna walk all over you. And if I find out somebody did, I'm coming for you because I didn't teach you to be that way. You know, so those are some of the things that I embody from my daddy, my Gemini twin, my I don't even know how to put into words how I felt when my dad left this earth on July 7th. It hasn't even been a year yet. And so I still grieve my dad. I find it hard to even approach the bridge into Cambridge because that's where my dad was born and raised, and that's where the family house still is. You know, I find it hard to even get there. I find it hard to walk into a market basket because that's where he always sent me to do his grocery shopping. You know, there's just so much. There's so many things, but I know what he would want for me. And so I continue on to do the things that I know I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
as a Beckford.
I tell you, that's the stuff we got to tap into as we are navigating grief, is what did the person represent. When I deal with grief counseling, meaning making, and finding those characteristics, and how do you embody those characteristics. So when you're sad, like I said, how do I channel my inner Kenny? What would my father want me to do in this moment? What would he say? How would he want me to show up? And that has helped. It doesn't mean I don't get sad, y'all, and I don't cry and I don't miss my father. Doing this show every week has been part of how I've navigated my grief. Some people like, you going on a Sunday at 10 o'clock? Yeah, it's better than being an insomniac or being in a bar somewhere drinking myself to death because I'm sad about my father. So I come here, I do the show because this was something he was proud of that I did. So when I show up, I know he's like, yeah, my daughter.
That's my daughter.
My daughter does radio. Her show comes on Sunday nights. You see her, he's up in heaven. Like, you see my baby? My baby is doing radio and she got a show. Look at that. So it makes me feel like every day, every Sunday, I'm a little bit closer to him. And he's up in heaven, sitting there listening.
And smiling from
ear to ear. So that gets me to come here every week, even when I'm tired. That's how I've made meaning. If no one ever knew that, that's one of the things I do, or many things that I do. Because I think about my father every day. It's not a moment that doesn't go by that I don't say, Dad, my dad's really not here.
Right.
He's really not here. I really can't call him. And I've had to navigate it, and I just carry it, In a minute, I'm going to play the station ID because we're getting to the top of the hour, and you guys already know whose voice you're going to hear, and I want the whole thing to play, and I want everybody to hear it. So when it comes on, I'm going to play it real loud, and I want y'all all to just put your hands on your heart and just have a minute to touch and hear his voice when it comes on. And we're going to get through this together, y'all.
Yes.
Yep, one day at a time. One day at a time. It should be coming on any second now. Kim, your dad's name was Kenneth too? Oh, wow. That's awesome. Kenny's a popular name. So yeah, very popular name. Yeah. It's coming any second now. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. And then we're gonna wrap up with our bet on self. I'm gonna tie that into how to navigate grief, and then we're gonna do Coach's Corner because we've been blessed to have Miss C. Brew, Charlie Bravo in the building. Here we go.
We are the Urban. Expect the unexpected. Unorthodox radio from Boston and beyond. Meet 981fm.com and iHeartStation.
Oh, man. I'm going to just take a minute. I'll take a minute. We miss you, Mark. We miss you so much. So, how I want to talk about the bet on self moment. See, Brew, still with me?
I'm with you. I'm with you, sister. I'm with you.
This is how I want to talk about it tonight, and how I want to frame the betting on self for everyone. We got some things that we say. And I want tonight to be the night that we stop saying these things and we break down some of these common misconceptions. And this is how we're going to help each other to bet on self, is we're going to change the narrative tonight. Time heals all wounds is the first one. We say that because we need something to sort of help us navigate it, but it really doesn't heal it. The loss of your loved one is going to hurt for a long time, probably until you go, right? I don't think time heals it. What do you think about that?
Time does not heal it. My sister has been gone for 8 years, and time has not healed anything for me in the loss of my oldest sister. I, I, there's so many sayings that, we use every day, and when you sit and you think about them, it's like, who thought of that?
Right.
Why did they even say that? That makes no sense
right.
whatsoever.
Like, it's like we just have to have something to say because we don't know what to say. And we've come up with these things to help us navigate it. But for a lot of people, when you say that, depending especially on how the person passed away, you don't get over that. When someone is, murdered or dies unexpectedly or cancer, we not good. Time is not going to heal us being able to make sense of our loved one dying from cancer. The other big one is you should be over it by now.
Shots fired.
Don't say that.
Shots fired.
Contrary to popular belief, you can take as long as you need, and there's no right or wrong way to grieve. There are healthier ways to grieve, but there is no, you should be able to, as soon as the funeral's over, you should be all set because they went on to a better place and they're out of pain now. All of that may sound good, but I feel like Marrk was not ready to go. Right? I feel like he wanted more time. And I think that just makes us here if we say he's in a better place now and he's no longer in pain, that helps somehow to make us be able to navigate it because we're still here. I think at the end of the day, it's okay to miss your loved one and to want them still to be here.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong, that you're still sad about it, or that you still cry about it. I think that lets us know, and that person mattered. And I think Marrk is worth every tear I shed. And every tear I'll shed in the future. My father's worth every tear I shed. My cousin is worth every tear I shed. Talise is worth every tear that we shed for missing her. And at the same time, for smiling and remembering. Every time Talise's commercial plays, I smile. We can hold space for both things. What you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tears, they don't cost us anything. So let them flow. Let the tears flow. It makes such a big difference once you release what you've been bottling up inside of you. A good cry. Sometimes, again, my mom is still here, but I grieve her. And some days I just cry because where's my mom?
Yeah.
When my mother says to me, have you seen Cynthia? And I'm standing there and she's talking to me. I have to turn around and go in my room and cry. She's there, but she's not there.
My father would call me and he would say, hello, my oldest daughter, my oldest child. I haven't heard from you in a while. You out there doing 50 million things as usual. Don't forget to call your dad. So I remember those moments, and I hold them dear to my heart. I remember, coming in on Sundays and Marrk, and me saying to Marrk, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to pull this show off. And he's like, baby, you're doing everything you're supposed to do. You be able to do it. You got this. And
look at you.
You got this, and I would need those pep talks sometimes. Because it would get heavy and I would be like, what's the purpose of this? Is this the show's not monetized? And I'm doing it every Sunday. Sometimes people are listening, maybe they're not. Why am I doing this? What's the purpose? Every Sunday I'm coming in here. And you lose sight of your why. And I think we all need to know why we do things. And sometimes it's not about anything else, but just to make an impact and purpose.
Yes.
Sometimes we think our purpose has to be so big. Sometimes your purpose can just be bringing joy to one person that day.
One person.
You know? And I think Mark was able to do that. He came in here, he did the show, and he never got caught up with how many people was listening or not listening. He told me, stop, just do
it.
What you do. If you build it, they will come. People are listening. Tell yourself they're listening. Speak to like the world is listening. Show up every week like you got millions of listeners, and you run your show like you are already there.
And with modern technology, whether you got listeners while you're on or not, they can always listen the next day and the next day and the next day with this modern technology. So
Absolutely.
Yes, continue to show up.
Absolutely. All right. So we have made it, last but not least, we're going to jump into Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner is all about staying in the fight. Think about right now, we get up every day and we are fighting through, we are navigating through this thing called life. Season 9, which is what this is all about this being my milestone year. I turned 50 this year, and I'm not having a midlife crisis, right? I'm having midlife clarity.
There
right?
It is.
And I think what comes with this new age is that we're going through grief more than we did before. I know when I was younger, it was about your friends possibly dying from like street violence and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really talked to me about death of cancer and heart attacks and strokes and all this stuff. Like, I thought that was just for the old people. And I mean old, 80, 90.
Well, for us, it was back then. I mean,
Yeah.
People didn't die from cancer unless they were smokeaholics.
Yes, but I just feel like this new wave of what's happening is just so different. First of all, do I look like I'm about to be 50?
Absolutely not.
50,
black don't crack.
Listen, 50 don't even look like what 50 used to look like to me back then, right? So I'm like, wait a minute. So I just think so much has changed in how we look at death and how we look at life, and we also living
longer.
We have a lot of ways to take care of ourselves and do better for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So Coach's Corner is all about us really thinking about what do we want listeners to take away from this conversation tonight and moving forward as we talk about navigating grief. What do we want them to take away?
I want people to take away that it's okay to not be okay. I want people to take away that it's okay to let your guard down and let your feelings out. It's okay to know that even though Mark is no longer here with us physically, we all have special memories that will put a smile on our faces when we think of Mark, the Voice Harris.
Yeah. Remy said he did it for 40 years and he knows better than anyone. Dedication. Tony Bone, you got to live life like they would want you to and not be sad. Sean Jordan, don't even mention losing friends from street violence. I have lost over 40. Yes. Ooh, and I know that's real. Some of us have experienced death way more than others. And some of us, we're experiencing it, like I said, for the first time. Many of us feel unprepared to cope with the emotional and physical toll from the impact on your body and your mind and the myths around moving on. So I want people to know, just like Steve Bruce said, like, it's okay to pause and check in with yourself. I know we're trying to do all the things, but it's similar to putting on the oxygen mask first, so that way you can breathe enough to help the next person. Because if you put the mask on someone else, you can't help nobody else, because now you're gone. So if you are the strongest person in the room, you got to take care of you even more so than ever before, especially in times like this. The other piece is thinking about where you feel it in your body. A lot of times with this, it's somatic. And that's why people feel sick. They feel tired. They feel worn down. And knowing what you need to be able to take care of yourself. That may mean rest.
Mm.
That may mean drinking some water, getting a good meal, being mindful of the depression symptoms, and to be diagnosed with depression, it actually has to consistently happen for 14 days. And that looks like not eating, not sleeping, not bathing, isolation, loss of interest in things that you normally would like to do. And it has to be persistent for 14 days. So if you're monitoring that, I always say, if you get up on the 13th day, focus on that you got up on the 13th day. It's okay to feel all the things. Be patient with yourself, be kind to each other. You just never know what people are holding and grieving and moving through. Somebody said, who's tonight's guest? Tony Bone is Cynthia Brewington. He's like, who's that?
Really, Tony? Really, Tony Bone? We still trying to figure out who you are.
Right, Tony.
Hello.
Hello, Tony.
Hello, Tony Bone. Hello, Tony Bone. Where are you? Come out wherever you are.
Yes. So that's what I really want, to sort of leave people with. And we're going to keep on supporting each other. Make sure y'all tune into next week's conversation with Coach La. I'm supposed to have mathematics and James Lambert III on next week, but if not, there will be another awesome guest. And then, the morning shenanigans go down in the AM with the morning cafe, with the whole crew. Dita Weeda, DJ Eclipse, Stacy, Coach Stacy, America's favorite auntie. And every now and again, we have Mr. Messy Marv Neal. But I think Dita Weeda's back this week. So you guys make sure you tune into the morning cafe. C Brew, I thank you so much for sitting and holding space with me. Everybody who tuned in on all the platforms, iHeartRadio, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram and Twitch. I appreciate you guys. Please share this live if you found it helpful. Any of the nuggets, just to get back in the comments and share memories about Marrk, would be so appreciated. I think this is how we honor his legacy, and we just keep showing up as a community and holding space for him. And I will see you guys back here on Sunday, 10 p.m. live. Share the live, comment. Appreciate y'all so much for holding space tonight as we honor the life and legacy of our brother, Marrk the Voice Harris.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.